Vasamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. So, as a person puts on new garments, giving up old ones, the soul similarly accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So, we all, have clothes. It's not like we are going to wear the same clothes for the rest of our life. As they become old, we discard them and then we buy new clothes and wear them. Similarly, the soul accepts new material bodies, giving up the old and useless ones. So when the body becomes useless, we just give it up. It's not like I will just hang on to the same body. That is what is called death. Of course, there's a lot of emotion and drama around death, but that's exactly what it is. The body is no longer useful, so the soul says bye bye and just leaves. Okay, Mataji, can you read?
Changes of body by the atomic individual soul is an accepted fact. Even the modern scientists who do not believe in the existence of the soul, but at the same time cannot explain the source of energy from the heart, have to accept continuous changes of body which appear from childhood to boyhood and from boyhood to youth and again from youth to old age. From old age, the change is transferred to another body. This has already been explained in a previous verse 2.13. Transference of the atomic individual soul to another body is made possible by the grace of the super soul. The super soul fulfills the desire of the atomic soul as one friend fulfills the desire of another. The Vedas, like the Mundaka Upanishad, as well as the Swatara Upanishad, compare the soul and the super soul to two friendly birds sitting on the same tree. One of the birds, the individual atomic soul, is eating the fruit of the tree, and the other bird, Krishna, is simply watching his friend. Of these two birds, although they are the same in quality, one is captivated by the fruits of the material tree, while the other is simply witnessing the activities of his friend. Krishna is the witnessing bird, and Arjuna is the eating bird. Although they are friends, one is still the master and the other is the servant. Forgetfulness of this relationship by the atomic soul is the cause of one's changing his position from one tree to another or from one body to another. The Jiva soul is struggling very hard on the tree of the material body, but as soon as he agrees to accept the other bird as the supreme spiritual master, as Arjuna agreed to do by voluntary surrender under unto Krishna for instruction, the subordinate bird immediately becomes free from all lamentations. Both the Mundaka Upanishad and Swatara Upanishad confirm this. Although the two birds are in the same tree, the eating bird is fully engrossed with anxiety and moroseness of the enjoyer of the fruits of the tree. But if in some way or other he turns his face to his friend, the Lord, and knows his glories at once, the suffering bird becomes free from all anxieties. Arjuna has now turned his face towards his eternal friend, Krishna, and is understanding the Bhagavad Gita from him. And thus, hearing from Krishna, he can understand the supreme glories of the Lord and be free from lamentation. Arjuna is advised herewith by the Lord not to lament for the bodily change of this old grandfather and his teacher. He should rather be happy to kill their bodies in the righteous fight so that they may be cleansed at once of all reactions from various bodily activities. One who lays down his life on the sacrificial altar or in the proper battlefield is at once cleansed of bodily reactions and promoted to a higher status of life. So there was no cause for Arjuna's lamentation.
Thank you for reading that. So, some very important points here, both from the Mundaka Upanishad and the Svetasvatara Upanishad. So, there are 108 Upanishads, and Srila Prabhupada quotes from all these Upanishads to make a case for Bhagavad Gita's message. Bhagavad Gita is very cryptic. Cryptic means it is very tight. It does not give too much leeway, too much detail. So we have to refer to some of these other Upanishads to get more information, and that's what Srila Prabhupada does. He sheds light on the information given from these other scriptures. So there is something called the triangle of verification. So in the triangle of verification, um, we have three konas. Trikona. Triangle is called trikona, and trigonometry is called trikonamati in Sanskrit. So what are the three konas? One is guru, second is sadhu, and third is shastra. Guru, sadhu, and shastra. So whatever a guru says, you have to verify it with shastra, and you have to verify it with other sadhus. And what do the sadhus say? You should go and ask your guru, is this correct? Because sometimes what happens is there's a lot of misinterpretation and deviation. Slowly, it's like a slippery slope. You make one concession, then you make one more concession, and then the religion becomes like modern Christianity or modern Hinduism. Because there's so many concessions made that it's no longer has any resemblance to the original thing. So, for example, people said, originally scripture said no eating meat. And then somebody said, gave a concession. Yeah, Sunday you can eat meat, right? So that is why all the shops, meat shops in India are open on Sunday. Then slowly people said, yeah, what Sunday? You can also have it on Wednesday and Tuesday. Oh, yeah, you can fast on Somvar, but, other 2 hours you can basically eat. Slowly but surely, people started eating 7 days a week. So that is what the slippery slope is. You give one concession, if you give a yard, they will take a mile. So we have to understand it from the original pure perspective. I mean, acknowledging that we may not be able to follow everything. It's very, very difficult to follow everything. So, but we need to know what that North Star is, what that goal is, and then work towards that goal gradually and steadily. Right now, there has been some improvement in me compared to 18 years ago when I started this process. I used to eat meat, I used to drink alcohol, but as I understood the principles and spirit of Bhagavad Gita, I gradually gave them up. And for the last 17 years, I've been free of those things, which is very good. I feel very light and we feel very happy like that. So there are so many things, not only just about meat eating and intoxication, but it applies to many, many other areas. Like scriptures talk about what you should do on a daily basis, how you can purify the soul. So many things are being said. So we have to work towards it. It is difficult, but it's not impossible because people before us have done it. Okay, so the key point is changes of the body, childhood to boyhood, boyhood to youth, youth to old age. So most of us are, in that zone, youth to old age. We are no longer children of like 7 years old. We are no longer a boyhood of like 12 years old. We no longer are youth of 20 years old, 20, 22 years. We are all approaching 40, 45. Some of us are approaching 50, right? So we are close to this junction right now. So what happens after old age? The change is transferred to another body. So it is also mentioned in previous verse 2.13. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. So this is the analogy. Everybody knows what an analogy is. To teach something new, people use something which is already known. So everybody has seen birds. Birds are sitting on the branches of trees, right? So there are two birds. One is the soul, that is us. Second is super soul or Paramatma Krishna. So as we are eating the fruits means we are enjoying the results of our activities. That's called fruitive activity. So you work, you make some money. With that, you buy things on Amazon, Costco. Then you buy a big screen TV, sit in front of it and enjoy. So Krishna is not saying anything. He's like the other bird who's simply watching us enjoy the fruits of our labor. But when we are ready for higher knowledge, Krishna is readily available. He says, okay, now you are ready, I'll give you higher knowledge. You are not the body, you are the soul. Soul has a different set of responsibilities. You need to get out of this cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. Everybody is born. After that, they grow, and after some time, they become old. Diseases attack the body. Chanda Vega, as it said in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And then finally, death comes. And after death, it doesn't stop. Again, birth, again, old age, again, disease, again, death. We are seeing that, right? Even in our own family members, we see people are growing old, they are falling sick, and some of them have already died. So this will happen to us also. So this is the key point, captivated by the fruits of material tree. What is captivated means? Anybody?
Completely enamored.
Yeah, very good. Excellent choice of words. Enamored is a very strong and beautiful word. You're like totally enamored by that. Yes, this is so good. Tesla is so good. iPhone 12 is so good. In this way, we are so enamored by materialism that we don't give time to the actual self, which is the soul. As a result, what will happen? We'll again take birth. Because if you are so enamored, then nature will say, okay, you like material, right? Okay, come back. Come back again. Unless we show completely being enamored by Krishna, we'll take birth again. So we have to be like completely be in love with Krishna. Because he's also known as Mukunda, who can give liberation. Means he can cut the cycle of this birth, death, old age, birth, old age, disease, and death. So he's the witnessing bird. Krishna is the witnessing bird. He's witnessing. How is he witnessing? How is he witnessing? Anybody know? He is directly
We
witnessing.
say
Huh? Sorry, go ahead.
be yeah no he's like Paramatma within our hearts.
Very good. And what are the other vehicles that he has? Instruments.
Not sure, Prabhuji.
Oh, sorry, what is that?
I said not sure.
Hmm.
But
Anybody else? Just like in an automobile factory, they have Internet of Things. They have all these different devices to make measurements on the quality, the color, texture of the car, whether all the parts are there, quality control. So you have Internet of Things, all these devices measuring them. Similarly, Krishna has 33 crore devatas who are tracking our movements. It is bad enough one person tracking us. We have 33 million devatas tracking us 24/7. What we are doing. Right? So when these 33 million devatas are tracking us, there is no escape. Everybody has a finger on the pulse, as they say. They know what you're doing. And they're recording it in various databases. So once in a while, Lord writes a query. Of course, he doesn't have to write a query to know, oh, okay, what is this soul doing? Oh, okay, he has done so many mistakes. He has done so many good things. So he will look at the holistic picture. And based on the holistic picture, he'll say, okay, looks like you are very much enamored by materialistic life. So may you be born again. So in our birthday parties, we sing a song. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna dear X, Y, and Z, Hare Krishna to you. And then there is a second part to the song. May you never be born again. May you never be born again. May you never be born again. Hare Krishna to you. So it is a blessing not to be born again. Right? In Christianity, there is this concept called born again Christians. So they want to come back and again be a Christian. But real liberation means you are not born again. You basically give it up. You give up the concept of materialism and you don't take birth again. So Krishna is witnessing birth. He is in touch. He is like the query across a million Internet of Things devices. More than a million, actually. 33 crore is what? 3.3 million, something like that. 33 crores. So many devatas are there who are measuring your journey. Every little move you make. I don't know if you are old enough to remember Michael Jackson. He's an African American singer. He sang a song. Every move you make, every step you take, I'll be watching you. So these 33 crore devatas are watching every step that you are making. And they are conveying that information to the Lord, and who will decide, okay, he is 60% good, 40% bad. Okay, I'll give him a human body. He's 95% bad, 5% good. I'll put him in a monkey body. Because monkeys are very, very mischievous and naughty. So that is a representation of a monkey body like that. So they are put in different bodies. Why? Because he's witnessing. He's always witnessing. Krishna's job is to witness, take notes. Both of them are friends actually, the Jiva and the Paramatma. Still, one is still the master and other is the servant. So in the Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nitya Das. Das means servant. Nitya means eternal. Jivera Swarupa Hoy. What is the Swarupa of Jiva? Nityera, always servant of Krishna. Always servant of Krishna. But when one is forgetful of this relationship, then changing his position from one tree to other. Right? You see, what do the birds do? They sit on this branch for a little while on this tree, eat something. They go on to the next branch, then eat some worms on that branch, then go on to the third branch. Similarly, the soul is changing bodies from body to body to body. And it's not like it is very pleasant. We're struggling very hard. very hard. First, you have to study elementary school, middle school, high school, bachelor's, master's, H1B, green card, citizenship, Black Lives Matter, Donald Trump. You have to struggle very hard in this material world. Biden, not like one is better than the other, huh? Because they are also humans, right? How much can they do? People expect a lot from their presidents, but how much can they do? They are just a human being. How much, I mean, can they comprehend every possibility in this material world? No. They will do to the best of their ability. That's about it, which is not sufficient to solve all material problems. So, what is the goal? Voluntarily, we should surrender to Krishna for instruction. Instruction is already there. Voluntary surrendering means you have to read the Bhagavad Gita and practice what is said in the Bhagavad Gita. Practice is more important than precept. There's an British saying. Precept means knowledge. Practice is more important than precept. So many people have so many ideas. A few of them will start up companies and then they become millionaires, right? The rest of them are all still working. Why? Because they practiced it. Same thing. Practicing means voluntarily surrender to Krishna and follow those instructions, not just theoretical. So Arjuna now turned his face towards his eternal friend. Keyword is eternal. So Krishna is always our friend, life after life. But we are not turning our face towards him. He's saying, Hare Krishna Baba, you stay in the temple. Let me go work at Microsoft or Amazon or Google or XYZ company. And I'm very happy. You think you're very happy, but you know, you may get laid off and fired and this and that, and somebody may sue you. Who knows? Something or the other will come. So, message is Arjuna should rather be happy to kill the bodies in the righteous fight, not in any fight. It has to be a righteous fight, dharmic, following dharma. And so, what happens? They get cleansed of bodily reactions. So, suppose a thief kills somebody. Now, he has to take birth again and be killed for that sin. Whereas, if he's killed in a battlefield, all of his karma balance will come to zero and he'll start fresh in his next life. I mean, cleansed only if you are killed in a dharmic war or when you leave the body in terms of purity of the soul, like, by practicing devotion. Of course, you practice devotion very well. Not only will you be cleansed of bodily reactions, but you'll be promoted to higher status of life, which could be to Swargaloka or Maharloka or Janaloka, or best of all is going to the spiritual world, Vaikunta. Vaikunta. Vai means no, Kunta means anxiety. So material world is Kunta Loka and spiritual world is Vaikunta Loka. Means no anxiety. That's it. You can do everything you do in spiritual world here also, but full of anxiety 24/7. Right? People have these smartphones next to them, checking mail at 1 a.m. So there is no concept of a smartphone in spiritual world. Nobody is sending you mail that you need to check.
Prabhuji, one small thing.
Yeah.
It is my bad. I think Vidya Mataji mentioned we are at 18.
Okay,
We said we did not. Yeah, we have to go back to 18. We should start from 18.
Okay.
And I have a question regarding this 22. Can I ask or should I wait until I
No.
come?
Ask. You should never wait.
So the question is, just now you mentioned that dharma, in a dharma war, everybody gets, can you call it moksha or a clean slate of rebirth?
No. So there are different levels, right? There are different levels. It's not all the same level. So let me
Okay.
see. I had the PowerPoint yesterday. I was putting together this PowerPoint. Point, I don't know where it is right now. Okay, so if you are killed in a dharmic war, you go to Swargaloka. You don't get moksha.
Okay.
So Swarga is minimum. Based on if you are very pious, you may go to Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka. Tapaloka means only tapasvis stay there. Hmm?
So my question is, I mean, whatever it is, they're getting a higher status of what they are right now.
Correct.
But when a war starts, like for example, taking Kurukshetra war, um, for Pandavas, it's a dharmic war. But when you look up from the other point of view, where Kauravas are doing adharma, like for one it is dharma, for other it is adharma. But because we have scriptures, we know it is where Krishna stands on Pandava's side, and it's a dharmic war. I'm just taking an example of the Bin Laden war, where US went and did with for US, they want to capture the guy who made a big toss for US, right?
Mhm.
But a lot of people got killed in that, calling it dharmic or not invading into other countries in these present situations. How do we take that when compared to Kurukshetra?
Yeah, so it is a little difficult to call any modern war as dharmic war, right? Because both parties are adharmic. Both parties are adharmic, right? America, we may attack Iraq or Iran or Syria for oil, and they may attack United States because they don't like our policies. So who is on the dharmic side? Nobody, right? Nobody is on the dharmic side.
True. I mean,
So for
there
every
is a
person,
yeah.
for every person we killed in Syria, Iraq, and Iran, 10 people are dying in America today of COVID. Reactions are coming. Otherwise, how can the world's richest country, with all the medical facilities, cannot control COVID? Right? So reactions will come. You cannot stop those reactions. That's why it's called karma. So it took 10 years, 12 years for the karma to come back, but it is coming and killing us. So many people are dying. People that I know are dying. People that I know are getting COVID. So good, bad, ugly. When karmic reactions come, they just come and with a nice little brush, it will wipe everybody. So there is no dharmic war right now. Here it is dharmic because there was a concept or principle of dharma, what was right, what was not right. For example, Draupadi was stripped naked in the, or attempted to strip naked in the Sabha, which was considered dharmic. And Krishna said that is a reason enough to kill. But now if you see so many nightclubs are there where people are stripping clothes and this and that. So now where is dharma? Right? So yeah, it's become very mixed up right now. There is no pure concept of dharma left anymore. Whatever dharmastu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Whatever the Lord ordains or defines as dharma is dharma. Right? In certain cases, you are allowed to lie. As they say, right? Prana vipta mana bhangamulandu jagatu gokuladi janma rakshanamandu. So if somebody's life is in danger, you are allowed to lie. Somebody's chastity is in danger, you are allowed to lie. If a cow is in danger, you are allowed to lie. So it's not like lying is wrong. Lying for what purpose? Right? So there are some parameters. Like in order to save, like there was this story. Once four robbers were chasing a girl. The girl came and she asked the sage, please help me. These robbers are coming and to kill me. He says, okay, you hide behind that bush. So these four robbers come and ask the question. Oh, dear sage, we were looking for a girl. She is a robber and we are trying to get our money back from her. Something like that. They made up a story. Can you tell her where she is? So the sage, he debated. If I tell a lie, I'll go to hell. If I tell the truth, maybe I'll be protected. So he told the truth. The girl is behind that bush. These 4 robbers came and killed that girl. The sage went to hell for telling the truth. So normally you think, oh, we should not lie, right? He went to hell for telling the truth. Why? Why did he go to hell?
Because he became the reason for
Her
one
death.
death.
Yes, exactly. When prana, mana, life, chastity, and cow's life are at stake, you are allowed to tell a lie. Because life is at stake. Life is more valuable than your silly truth. But if you are talking about 2 friends, hey, how much money do you have in your wallet? See, he has $100, but he says, I only have $50. There it becomes a crime. But when this, if he had told the falsehood, he would have been rewarded actually because he saved that girl's life. Right? So dharma is very, very tricky. Very, very tricky. So in the modern time, dharma is practically non-existent. Right? We attacking Iraq and a lot of, and also in the olden days, in the Vedic times, war means it happens on a battlefield. You don't fire missiles in the middle of the night to kill innocent, the American Patriot missiles killed so many civilians. And Iran's missiles killed so many Iraqi civilians. Iraq's missiles killed so many Iranian civilians. No, you're not supposed to attack civilians. Only warrior to warrior. That is dharma. So nowadays, from dawn to dusk, that's it. From sunrise to sunset. After sunset, both parties will come. They meet in each other's tents, and then exchange prasadam. They will have food. They will, chit chat. They'll gamble a little bit, play cards or something. Next morning again, they go on to 2 different sides and fight with each other. That is Kshatriya Dharma. But where is that right now? Nothing. So everything's broken. So in the modern dharma is very different, and that will be defined in the Bhagavad Gita later, and in more advanced books like Srimad Bhagavatam, which says, Savai Pumsha Paro Dharma Ahaituki Apratihata Yayatma Suprasidati. Means we have to do Paro Dharma. Paro Dharma means loving God. That is a bigger dharma than doing this dharma of husband, dharma of mother, dharma of father, dharma of a warrior. We are only doing swadharma. We are not doing paro dharma. Paro dharma means having a loving connection with God and getting liberated. That is even higher than all this nonsense. I mean, we have to do this nonsense to a certain extent to keep the body and soul together. But the real dharma is something that pleases the Supreme Lord. Real dharma is something ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. So it should be satisfying to the heart when you perform dharma. Then you will know it that this is wrong. Like when they ordered attack, Powell, General Powell, he ordered attack against Iraq. Even a little kid knew that they didn't have weapons of mass destruction. It was just a facade, right? It was just a technique. In war, the first casualty is truth. So you create a altered reality in order to go and attack the opposite party. That happens in both sides. So he created this story. He and his other individuals, and that is, by the way, acceptable in war. In war, you create these stories on the other party, so that America can attack Iraq and tilt the balance in the Middle East to our favor. Yeah, but the reactions will come in a different angle, and we are already seeing reactions. We are very wealthy, right? How are we unable to stop Corona? We should have stopped it by now. So dharma is very, very complex. Better to do the parodharma, means worshipping the Supreme Lord and escaping this cycle of birth and death. That is an easier way, easier technique actually, rather than trying to figure out what real dharma is. So complicated. Is that okay, Mataji?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so 18. Antavanta ime deha
Antavanta ime deha
Deha
nityasyoktyaha shariranaha
nityasyoktah
Nityasokta
sharirinaha
Shariranaha
anasino aprameyasya
anasino
Anasino
aprameyasya
Apravinasya
tasmat yudyasva bharata.
Tasmad
tasmadhyudyatva
Yudyasva
bharata.
Bharata.
The material body of these are the qualities. So Krishna gives something like 22 qualities in Bhagavad Gita of the soul. So if you like go through all the verses, you can write down those 22 qualities: indestructible, immeasurable, eternal, living entity. So in each verse, he'll give you 2 or 3 qualities of the soul. So the soul is indestructible, you cannot destroy it. Immeasurable, you cannot measure it. And eternal means you cannot kill it ever. So the body is sure to come to an end. So why do you worry for the body? You fight. You just do your dharma. Okay, Nagaraju, please read.
Yeah, okay, Prabhu. The material body is perishable by nature. It may perish immediately or it may do so after 100 years. It is a question of time only. There is no chance of maintaining it indefinitely. But the spirit soul is so minute that it cannot even be seen by an enemy, to say nothing of being killed. As mentioned in the previous verse, it is so small that no one can have any idea how to measure its dimension. So, from both viewpoints, there is no cause of lamentation because the living entity, as he is not, as he is cannot be killed, nor can the material body be saved for any length of time or permanently protected. The minute particle of the whole spirit acquires this material body according to his work, and therefore observance of religious principles should be utilized. In the Vedanta Sutras, the living entity is qualified as light because he is part and parcel of the supreme light. As sunlight maintains the entire universe, so the light of the soul maintains this material body. As soon as the spirit soul is out of this material body, the body begins to decompose. Therefore, it is the spirit soul which maintains this body. The body itself is unimportant. Arjuna was advised to fight and not sacrifice the cause of religion for material bodily considerations.
Yeah, so body itself is unimportant. So sunlight maintains entire universe, so the soul maintains this body. Soul is very small, it is sitting in the heart, but it is maintaining the whole body. And observance of religious principles. So there are some principles one has to follow when they come in the human form. Dogs and cats, they don't need to follow. So when Prabhupada came to America, he called it a dog and cat civilization. We are thinking it's a tech civilization. He called it dog and cat civilization because they were not following principles of religion. They are on animal platform. And now India is also becoming on animal platform. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Those are the things that animals do. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maitunam. Maitunam means sex. Bhaya means defending. You are fearful, so you defend. Nidra, sleeping. Ahara, food. Samanyetat Pashubir Naranam. So Pashus and Naras, it's common across these two. Dharmo hi eko adhika vishesho. Only dharma is the special characteristic. Dharma hina Pashubir Samanam. Without dharma, we are no better than animals. Scriptures say this actually. So we have to get out of the animalistic mindset and come into human mindset. So actually, you see a lot of human-like people in this world, but their mindset is not human. It's all animalistic. So we have a lot of animals among the humans right now. So, but it can be changed. If you give them sufficient information, they will change. They'll gradually come to the human platform. And from human platform, they go to Devata platform, and then eventually get into liberation platform. At some life, we may also have been devatas. Some or the other, we made some silly mistakes, and now we are as humans. If we make some more mistakes, then we'll go into animals. So one Prabhu, he wrote a book called Human Devolution. He says how humans become animals because of the performance of certain activities that will push them into an animal body. Ya enam veti hantaram
Ya enam vetti
Vetti
hantaram.
hantaram.
yaschainam manyate hatam
Yashchainam
Yaschainyam
manyate
manyate
hatam.
hatam.
ubhau tau na vijanito
Ubhau tauna
Ubodhano na
vijanito.
jatinto.
nayam hanti na hanyate.
Nayam
Nayam hanti na
hanyate.
hante.
Neither he who thinks the living entity is the slayer, nor he who thinks it is slain is in knowledge. So that is, he is in ajnana. From ajnana, we have to come to jnana and then vijnana. So if you think that somebody is killing and somebody is getting killed, it is ajnana. Because the self, the soul, is not killed or can it kill. That's just pertains to the body. If somebody is killed, the soul simply leaves the body and goes to the new body. That's it. That doesn't mean that you are going to start killing people, because that is bad unless it is ordained by the Lord. Okay, Anil, please read this.
Sorry, Prabhu, just a moment. My kid started crying. A moment.
Okay.
I'm moving aside.
We'll come back to you later. Let's go somewhere. Aryan?
Sorry, Prabhu, a moment, Prabhu. I am reading. Just a moment.
Sure.
When an embodied living entity is hurt by fatal weapons, it is to be known that the living entity within the body is not killed. The spirit soul is so small that it is impossible to kill him by any material weapon, as will be evident from subsequent verses. Nor is the living entity killable because of his spiritual constitution. What is killed or is supposed to be killed is the body only. This, however, does not at all encourage killing of the body. The Vedic injunction is Ma himsyat sarva bhutani, never commit violence to anyone. Nor does understanding that the living entity is not killed encourage animal slaughter. Killing the body of anyone without authority is abominable and is punishable by the law of the state as well as by the law of the Lord. Arjuna, however, is being engaged in killing for the principle of religion and not whimsically.
Yeah. So this is very important. We cannot whimsically, means carelessly, come to wrong conclusions. I went to a Buddha temple in Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. This was almost 10, 12 years ago, with one of these called acharyas. So we were talking to that person. And then after a while, they bought some pork and whiskey to offer to Buddha. Just like we have, pulihora, Daddojanam offering to Krishna. They bought some pork and whiskey. And we said, how can you offer this? He said, yeah, we kill these animals and birds, and we offer it to Buddha so that these animals get liberated. What did Buddha say? Ahimsa parava dharmaha. And these people are killing animals in the name of liberation, right? So what are they doing? They are doing animal slaughter in the name of liberating them. So you cannot do that. No, let them live their natural course and let them die. Otherwise, you'll get the karma. Like, what's his name? Dalai Lama, very famous guy. He gives speeches. He came to Seattle in a stadium, $100 ticket to go hear him, something like that. So in his speech, he talked about non-violence, this and that. And later they said, what would you like to have for dinner? He said, I will have veal. Veal means young cows that are killed. So he himself doesn't know the philosophy and he's teaching the whole world. This is the problem. Na himsyat sarva bhutani means you cannot kill any living entity. Yes, they are also souls. But when you kill, they are not liberated. For example, a chicken is destined to live for 4 years. Typically, their age is around 4 or 5 years. But you kill them at point 1. Now the soul has to take birth again in a chicken body and finish the remaining 3 years. Now again, if somebody kills at the year 1. Again, now it has to take birth and 2 more years it has to live. Right? It's okay to eat as long as the animal dies naturally. But no, people are killing it in slaughterhouses and eating. Because there'll always be some people who cannot control their tongue. So for them, eating non-vegetarian is also allowed by the Vedas for only those people. However, the animal has to die of natural causes, not like you kill it and you stop its journey. Because a cow is destined to live, usually cow's life is 14, 15 years. So people, what do? After first 1.5, 2 years, the cow will start giving milk because it will start having babies. It will first mature and then start having babies. And then around 6 or 7 year point, the cow's milk production goes down. So what do people do? Okay, now they say there is no point in feeding this cow. Let's kill and sell the meat. That is the standard practice in America, UK, even in India. In India, they let it live for a little longer, but eventually they'll kill it. So now that poor cow from 7 year point to 15 year point, it has to again take birth again, another 7 years, again it has to take birth again, third life. So you're actually putting that poor thing into trouble. So animal slaughter cannot be and should not be encouraged. And because of this massive animal slaughter in America, you'll see more and more problems going forward. It is a given actually, you cannot. When Narendra Modi came, he banned cow slaughter in India. It still happens illegally, black market, but he formally said you cannot kill cows. So that's what it is. The karmic reaction will come, and when it comes, people will start crying, "Arey, why are so many California fires happening?" Right? How many acres? 200,000 acres in California got burnt this year. So many houses. How many houses got burnt? Like maybe 500, 600 houses got burnt. So much property loss. So many people died also. Like they could not get out of the houses in time. So all that is karmic reaction. And it will continue. If you kill, nature will kill you. This cycle can never be stopped because it's the law. How can you, like, you cannot put, your iPhone high in the air and let it go. And you say, okay, iPhone, don't fall. Will it not fall? It will fall and then you have to spend $100 or $200 to fix the iPhone screen. That is called law of gravity. In the same way, there are laws of animal killing in the scriptures. If you violate that law, then you have to pay the price. Nobody can undo the law. Even Krishna will not undo the law for that matter. He'll say, I've set the laws for a reason. You follow them, that's it. There is a reason those laws have been set. Because you may be killing a chicken And that chicken could have been your grandfather who left his human body and went into the body of a chicken. And now you are killing your grandfather. So it's a pretty painful thing. But once you think through it a little bit, then you'll come to that, correct understanding. Okay. Let's do the next one. Na jayate mriyate va kadachin.
न जायते
जायते
म्रियते वा कदाचिन्
Nayam bhutva bhavitava na bhuyah.
नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः
Bhuya.
Ajo nityah shashvato yam purano.
अजो
Ajo
अजो
नित्यः
नित्यः
Nitya
शाश्वतो
शाश्वतो
Shashvato
यं
Purano.
पुराणो
Nahanyate hanyamane sharire.
न
न
हन्यते
हन्यते
हन्यमाने
हन्यमाने
Hanyamane
शरीरे
Sharire.
शरीरे.
For the soul, not the body, for the soul, there is neither birth nor death. Only the body takes birth and body dies. He has not come into being, does not come into being, and will not come into being. Past, present, and future, he will not be a material entity. He's already there, he's eternal. He is unborn, doesn't take birth. It temporarily comes into this body and leaves quickly. And again, temporarily comes and again leaves quickly. But if you take him out of that cycle, he'll go back to his original position. Unborn. And when I say he, because soul is neither male nor female, it is just neutral, right? Sometimes in male body, sometimes in female body. Unborn, eternal, ever existing. There's not a time when it didn't exist. And prime evil. Prime evil means since the beginning of time. This term usually comes in geology. Geology means study of earth. They say, okay, so many billion years ago this happened, right? So this term is primeval, means from the beginning. And he is not slain when the body is slain. So when the body is cut, he is not cut. Okay. Let's see. Aryan, can you read this?
Sorry, Prabhu, could you repeat that again?
Yeah, can you read this?
Qualitatively, the small atomic fragmental part of the Supreme Spirit is one with the Supreme. He undergoes no changes like the body. Sometimes the soul is called the steady, or, sorry, how do you pronounce that again?
Kutastha.
Kutyasta. The body is subject to 6 kinds of transformations. It takes its birth from the womb of the mother's body, remains for some time, grows, produces some effects, and gradually dwindles, and at last vanishes into oblivion. The soul, however, does not go through such changes. The soul is not born, but because he takes on a material body, the body takes its birth. The soul does not take birth there, and the soul does not die. Anything which has birth also has death. And because the soul has no birth, he therefore has no past, present, or future. He is eternal, ever existing, and primeval. That is, there is no trace in history of his coming into being. Under the impression of the body, we seek the history of birth, etc., of the soul. The soul does not at any time become old, as the body does. The so-called old man, therefore, feels himself to be in the same spirit as in his childhood or youth. The changes of the body do not affect the soul. The soul does not deteriorate like a tree nor anything material. The soul has no byproduct either. The byproducts of the body, namely children, are also different individual souls, and owing it to the body, they appear as children of a particular man. The body develops because of the soul's presence, but the soul has neither offshoots nor change. Therefore, the soul is free from the 6 changes of the body.
In the Katha Upanishad.
In the Katha Upanishad, we also find a similar passage, which reads,
Go to the English.
the meaning and purport of this verse is the same as in the Bhagavad Gita, But here in this verse, there is one special word. Sorry, Prabhu, how do you
Vipaschit.
Vipashtit, which means learned or with knowledge. Shall I go on, Prabhu?
Yes, yes.
The soul is full of knowledge, or full always with consciousness. Therefore, consciousness is a symptom of the soul. Even if one does not find the soul within the heart, where he is situated, one can understand the presence of the soul simply by the presence of consciousness. Sometimes we do not find the sun in the sky owing to clouds, or for some other reason, but the light of the sun is always there, and we are convinced that it is there for a daytime. As soon as there is a little light in the sky early in the morning, we can understand that the sun is in the sky. Similarly, since there is some consciousness in all bodies, whether man or animal, we can understand the presence of the soul. This consciousness of the soul is, however, different from the consciousness of the Supreme, because the Supreme Consciousness is all knowledge, past, present, and future. The consciousness of the individual soul is prone to be forgetful. When he is forgetful of his real nature, he obtains education and enlightenment from the superior lessons of Krishna. But Krishna is not like the forgetful soul. If so, Krishna's teachings of Bhagavad Gita would be useless. There are two kinds of souls, namely the minute particle soul. Sorry, how do you pronounce that?
Anu Atma.
Anu Atma, and the super soul Vibhu
Atma.
Atma. This is also confirmed in the Katha Upanishad in this way. Both the super soul Paramatra and the atomic soul Jivatma are situated on the same tree of the body within the same heart of the living being, and only one who has become free from all material desires as well as lamentations can, by the grace of the Supreme, understand the glories of the soul. Krishna is the fountainhead of the super soul. Also, it will also be disclosed in the following chapters. And Arjuna is the atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. Therefore, he requires to be enlightened by Krishna or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master.
Very good. So how old are you, Aryan?
17.
Amazing, amazing. You know, when I read the Bhagavad Gita for the first time, that was when I was 36 years old. So you're so fortunate. At the age of 17, you are getting this knowledge. You are so, so fortunate.
Thank
Amazing.
you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you for reading. So, this is one of the pivotal verses in the Bhagavad Gita. Talks about primeval. Primeval means since the beginning, right? So, quality and quantity, right? For example, if you go to Puget Sound area and take a spoon of water and put it in your mouth, how does it taste? Salty, right? So do you need to now go to Silicon Valley or California and again take a spoon of water from the ocean? Do you need to? It's pretty much give or take a few micrograms here and there of salt. It is still salty. So qualitatively, a drop of an ocean is the same as the entire ocean. So the entire ocean is like Krishna, and each one of us, Anu Atma or minute particle, are Jivatmas, are individual. So Krishna is like the ocean, and we are like the drop of the seawater. Both of us are same taste, but we are not the same because one is a drop, the other is the entire ocean. So that's a very important part that we need to understand. Otherwise, we'll think that we are gods at some point. No, we are not gods. We belong to God. God with an apostrophe S. So there are 6 changes, right? So what do we do? If you look at these 6 changes, let's go to a Word document perhaps. New. We take birth from the womb of the mother's body. Everybody comes from a womb. Remains for some time. We grow. We are all growing on a daily basis. we produce some effects, such as kids. We gradually dwindle. At last, we vanish into oblivion. Means nobody talks about us anymore. Our body doesn't even exist. So these are called the 6 changes of the body. These are the 6 changes of the body. But what happens to the soul? The soul does not at any time become old as the body does. The soul does not become old, believe it or not. Soul age is the same since the beginning of creation for millions and billions of years. Our universe is at least 4 billion years old. So the soul has been there at least for 4 billion, if not longer. The changes of the body do not affect the soul. So our body may change, but our soul doesn't change. And we may produce some byproducts like appear as children, right? Children of a particular man, like that. So na jayate mriyate va vipaschin nayam kutaschin na babuva kaschit ajo nityah shashvato ayam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So this is Sanskrit but written in English, transliterated in English. So you can learn Sanskrit by reading English words. And you have diacritics. You see this? Whenever there is a little line on top of S, it is sh, not s. Okay? And whenever there is a dot below an N, it is not n, but n, like you have to drop the word. And then nityah. So there, under the H, there is a dropping of this little dot here. So it is not nityah, it is nityah. You drop it. And whenever there is a dash on top of a, it becomes a. So it is not sa, it is sha. Shashvato, shashvato. So you drag on the a. And whenever there's a little apostrophe at beginning of a word, you add a. So it's not yam, but it is ayam. And then it is not ayam because there is a drop on top of, a dot on top of m, so you raise the voice. Ayam. So you emphasize like that. Just like you say, oh, you raise the So it's a very interesting language, Sanskrit, very poetic. So reasons, in Seattle, we rarely see sun in the sky. But has the sun vanished? No, sun is hiding behind the clouds. But the light is always there. And whenever there is light, we conclude it is daytime, even though you cannot see the sun. Similarly, there is some consciousness in all bodies, man or animal, right? Animal is going right and left, a dog is barking, bird is flying. So there is consciousness. Wherever there is consciousness, you have to understand the presence of the soul. A lot of people, they say, I don't believe in God. Then you ask them a question, do you believe in yourself? They say, I don't believe in myself. So they are totally confused, basically. There is consciousness in them also. And where is that consciousness coming from? They'll say it comes from chemicals. But when you see a dead body, the chemicals are all there. Then why is it that the dead body doesn't talk like you and me? Because the soul has vanished. It has left the body. And there are two concepts, minute particle, Anuatma, and the super soul, Vibhuatma. So we can understand individuals on these two different levels. Minute particle, Anuatma, that is us, and the super soul, Vibhuatma, that is an expansion of Krishna or God. So Arjuna is the atomic soul, forgetful of his real nature. So we are all forgotten our real nature. And therefore, we require to be enlightened by Krishna. That's what he's doing in this book. He's enlightening us, giving us that knowledge, because we are forgetful. We forgot who we are. We are thinking we are just somebody's son or daughter. We just go to office or school or college. So we have to be enlightened by Krishna. So any comments, thoughts? That's a pretty intense verse.
Prabhuji,
Mm-hmm.
I think in this same verse, right, it was told that this particular soul, it was never, what to say, created or never died, or it is there since a primeval
Mm-hmm.
time, and it is unborn.
Mm-hmm.
So does that mean that there are so many souls,
Mm-hmm.
and because of, like, what to say, their intention and their inner choices, that it is taking in the birth of, like, some or other what to say, bodies, like, it could be animal or it could be a human being?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you and I have been in animal bodies for millions of lifetimes. We have been in demigod or devata bodies for maybe thousands of lifetimes, and we have been in previous human bodies for millions of lifetimes as well. So
Prabhu, sorry to disturb.
yeah,
May I know what's the need? Actually, Atma is different, Paramatma is different.
right.
And with all of our actions, it appears like we can never reach Paramatma,
No, no, no,
probably,
no,
most
no,
probably.
no.
Prabhu,
Nobody said you cannot reach Paramatma. So you should take that thought out of your mind that
Prabhu.
nobody can reach Paramatma. You have to get rid of that. I'll tell you, it's
Okay.
very easy to
Yeah,
do
yeah,
that.
that makes sense. Thanks, Prabhu.
Yeah. No. Originally, we were in spiritual world. Okay. We had attitude problem. We were sent here. We started building karma. We started building karma. We are stuck here. That's what it is. But we can purify ourselves, go back to Krishna. But before going back, we have to get into good books of Krishna. We were all in the spiritual world originally.
Prabhu, sorry to disturb again. Here we are doing one thing. We are striving to go back to Krishna and not to the spiritual world where we had spiritual problem. Sorry, attitude problems. Right,
No, we
Prabhuji?
are going to spiritual world where Krishna resides. That's the
Where
thing.
Krishna is.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is going to be a cycle, right, Prabhu? Again?
No, no. You can choose to come out of this cycle. Don't have that
Yeah, yeah,
attitude
Prabhu.
problem again. So we have to fix our attitude. So we purify ourselves and
Okay.
fix our
Yeah,
attitude.
yeah. That means it. Thanks, Prabhu.
Yeah. So uh, when we go through these steps, don't go back to step 2 again, right?
Yeah, that's
Get
what
this
I was
attitude problem again.
expecting, Prabhu.
If you don't have it,
Yeah.
then so we have to fix all our attitude problems here and go back there and never again come down here. Like this is exactly what even the Bible says, right? We had attitude, like the figurative ways that Adam ate an apple or whatever, right? So it's not
Yeah.
an apple, it's an attitude problem. They put it very dramatically that Satan came and said, come on, eat this apple, eat this apple. And Adam took a bite, and then Adam and Eve were sent to the material world. It's not dramatic like that. We had an attitude problem, and therefore we were asked to leave. So when we say soul is unborn, we were sent here, but actually we are not sent here. This is very difficult for us to understand. We are in like a dream-like state. So we are in like a dream-like state. We are still there in the spiritual world, but we are going through this cycle of taking birth and death again and again. Get the point? That's why soul is not born. Soul cannot
Yes,
be
Prabhu.
killed,
Got it.
because we are still there in the spiritual world right now, this moment. But because of our attitude problem, we are put into this illusory world called Maya. Very difficult to understand because it feels so real. It feels so real. But we have to get out of this dreamlike state by chanting Hare Krishna, understanding scriptures, following certain rules and regulations. Because think about it, if you have a nice family and one of your family members is not behaving very well, so you ask him to leave the family, but doesn't mean that you'll give him like lifelong curse. You ask him to go rectify himself and again come back. And if the fellow is rectified, then you'll accept him back into the family. Yes. So same thing. We are in a dreamlike state. We have to again go back to our spiritual position. Our spiritual position is not being taken over by somebody. No, your position is still there waiting for you. We just have to fix ourselves and then go back. Very difficult to understand because this Maya covering is very, very strong. Everybody asks me the same question for the last 18 years. Answer is always the same, that we have to, like, suppose suddenly you wake up and you see that you are sinking in the water in Lake Sammamish. Will you worry about how you fell into the water or how you want to get out?
How to get out from there?
What is more important? How you fell down is okay, but how to get out? That is the biggest problem. That is why. So when souls are suffering, the Lord gave lot of guidance. He comes down periodically in form of avatars. He has given us so many scriptures like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And then he sent Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Jeev Jago, Gora Chand Bole. He doesn't talk about how to get 401k, how to get a job, how to buy a car. His only guidance is, wake up, O soul. Why are you still sleeping? Wake up. He starts where all other religions end. All other religions, what they teach, including mainstream Hinduism, do this puja so that you can get more money, or do this puja so that you can get a better wife, or do this puja to get better husband, better kids, right? Only better than the baseline, but doesn't mean it's the best. Best is to wake up. Wake up, O soul. How long will you sleep? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Kota nidra jao maya, pisachi rakole. This pisachi, you are sleeping in the lap of a witch pisachi. Don't sleep. Get up, get up. Come back to me. He's saying like that. Right? But it takes us very difficult because, what happens is 80-90% of our time, we are trapped by media. We are trapped by, mainly the social media, television. These things are occupying our consciousness. Just 50-70 years ago, I know in Andhra, people used to do dramas about Rama and Krishna, Chintamani, Satakam, all these dramas. Why? To remind you that you don't belong here. You have to go back to Krishna or Rama. But what happened now in the last 60-70 years? Television has done more damage than the Mughals and British combined. Right? Television perpetuates, look up this word in the dictionary. Perpetuates means it keeps on going. The illusion. So what television will show you? Some hero is running after the heroine. They get married. Villain will come. Dishum dishum. The villain is finished, and again they live happily ever after. That is the story. So that creates more illusion in your mind that this is the way life is supposed to be. No, even 50-70 years ago, people knew this fact that life is meant for liberation. Human life is meant for liberation. Animals cannot get liberated. Even if some Buddhist in Vancouver kills the animal, it's not going to get liberated. It will come back, poor thing, again. So knowledge is there. It's just that, yeah, what can I say? There is so much confusion going on in the world. And it will be only more. And what happens is the Maya Devi will crank up your anxiety and misery. So 2020 was the year of Corona and Trump. 2021, it will be Biden, Corona, plus some other disease. So there'll always be some excitement. And then in that excitement, you'll forget God. So we have to be very careful. I mean, this knowledge is there, but most people are not willing to do, right? On day one, how many people we had? 33 people. Now only 7 people on the call. So the other people didn't think this knowledge is important. Although people like me are trying to put in our best effort to teach this knowledge. And what can we do? Better luck next lifetime, right? They'll again die and take birth again. And somebody like me will be teaching Bhagavad Gita. Krishna will not leave any soul. Huh? They will chase life after life. Krishna is chasing the souls. But souls are saying, no, Baba, I don't have, I need to buy my Tesla. I need to buy my iPhone. They are so busy with their silly stuff. Okay. It's already 6 o'clock.
Prabhuji, I have a
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, like I think you're about to wrap up, but I have a couple of questions, Prabhu. I think it's the same problem with everybody, all of us. But you know, when Sunday comes in, 4:45 comes in, I think, hey, I'm like, I need to attend the Bhagavad Gita class.
Right.
And then, hey, I'm learning something new. Okay, good. Then what happens at 6 o'clock? Hey, I have a like people like me, I have some other training session starting from 6 to 7. Then oh, I have to rush to that one. But this is what is happening. And the moment I go to that session, when I get out of this one, I don't even start thinking about what I learned in this one. Very few things, very few things. Oh, this is what Prabhuji told in that Bhagavad Gita class. Okay, like example, it could be about the karma, it could be about the soul or super soul or Krishna or taking a birth or animal kind of thing. Okay, out of the 1,000 discussions we do, at least like maybe a 1 or 2 until the next Sunday comes in. So apart, I'm like, I do chanting not even one mala per day. Being honest, maybe 11 times kind of thing, not more than that. But how do I make sure that I follow at least chanting or reading a book or kind of thing? Like, how do I make myself that I have to do these things? This is a better thing. It's not about the 401k. It's not about the Tesla car. It's not about the stupid iPhone 12 Pro. How do I make my focus on this Bhagavad Gita, or how do I make myself into this liberation?
Yeah. It's called power of habits. This is not a spiritual topic. This is a material topic, right?
Mhm.
How do you develop a habit, right? Unconsciously, you're able to write code at work. How did that happen? When
Yeah.
you were born, did you know C++, Java and all these things? No, right?
No.
You trained yourself by getting into a habit. So you start doing things. One day you chant one mantra, second day two, third day four, fourth day 8, fifth day 16. In this way, you just keep on increasing. How do you train for Olympics? You train from the
Mm.
age of 3 or 4, and by the time you're 17, you're ready. You run, and then you get the gold medal. Power of habits. So you have to form a habit, right? Like a lot of people, they have a challenge of unable to give up smoking. So they join what? Some group or Alcoholic Anonymous to give up drinking, for example, right? And then the peers will, hold you accountable to doing something. Every day you have to improve compared to yesterday. I have to be better today by 1 inch or 2 inches. And when you develop the power of habits, there is a science which says that for 30 days, if you do something, you will not give it up. 30 days. You do the same thing for 30 days, you'll not give it up. Whether waking up early and at 4 o'clock or, giving up dinner, you have to do it for 30 days. And that's how people are trained when people are overweight, right? Obese. They are sent to these camps where they charge $2,000. This is what they're teaching. They are teaching them to eat more salads and this and that. And they will make them do for 30 days. And after that, the fellow will get into an auto course, basically. Autopilot mode. You'll just keep on going like that. So you have to, just like anything else in life. How did you get your bachelor's degree in engineering? How did you come to America? You put in a lot of effort. This also requires effort. And once you do it, the habit will form. Once habit forms, it will just go. I've been teaching these classes for 10 years now. How do I do it? I take it 1 week at a time. Okay, this week I will cover this. Next week I'll cover this. I'm not thinking what I'll cover for the next 20 years. No way. Right? It's our human beings cannot even think that far. So take baby steps. So you take baby steps, it will happen. So what was your question two?
Prabhuji, can
No, I think Prabhu had one more question. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I keep forgetting that one. Then only when Sunday comes in, only when 4 o'clock hits. Oh, okay. I need to attend Bhagavad Gita, and I need to start reading or listening or chanting kind of thing. So forgetfulness is too much for me. If I would say
Remember,
that,
that's exactly
even
what
though
we studied. Forgetfulness of the soul. Soul is forgetful. That is our nature. So we have to remind ourselves.
Yeah.
See how many times Prabhupada uses this. Forgetful, forgetful, forgetful. That is our nature. What are you going to do? You just have to keep at it. That's it. And remind yourself, like every week, I am your coach. I am giving you, I'm pushing you, I'm inspiring you, I'm saying, go for it, man. But then remaining 6 days, you have to motivate yourself. It's not like coach will be there for every day of your life. Although, I don't mind if you call me every day, I'll inspire you for 10 minutes. But in general, uh, you have to take that and work. Yeah. Yeah, so
sure,
somebody
Prabhuji.
said here, Hare Krishna TV is live and free on air on YouTube, and then you can do the Shravana about the Supreme. Yeah, you can hear YouTube lectures every day. That is one other way. I mean, I listen to YouTube lectures every other day at least. Yesterday I was hearing, day before yesterday I was hearing. There are so many acharyas who are giving lectures, ISKCON acharyas. So if you want, I can send you some links. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, we have to develop that power of habit. Once it becomes a habit, you will not stop it. That's it. Okay, Mataji, you had a question. I have to drop now. It's 6:10 already.
no, Prabhuji, no question. I was just trying to add on to it that ABCD concept of, you educated us. So I was just about to say there is a book called Atomic Habits. It's a great book to help you form a habit. And yes, Prabhuji, I was like that. I used to do one round of chanting for a very, very long time. And I just did a call it Sankalpa or ask Krishna, or I'm like, I need to step up now. And then it just adds on. And yes, YouTube channels, I like to hear podcasts. So there are a lot of, you can walk and hear. So keep yourself in contact, and books, read books, which helps us to, revisit
Yeah.
the concepts.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll stop there. Thank you very much. Please chant, and we'll see you all next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.